Hi there, my name is Nora Latapi-Dean and I am the Positive Action Program's Inclusion Coordinator for the Southwest Leadership Academy.
Oh, hello, I'm Vinay Takwale. I'm a medical doctor for the Southwest region in system improvement. I also chair the national NHSE work stream on falls osteoporosis and fragility fractures.
How do you continue to grow and develop as a leader?
I think the important bit is, to me, is having an ongoing conversation with people, listen to people. That is the important bit. I think maybe it's probably as you get older, you get a bit more humble and you see humility. That is critical. At a personal level, the way I develop myself is you stretch yourself each time. I think you learn from stretching yourself. You can then reflect, you gather insights from your practical experiences. And the important bit I felt was to always work in a zone which is not always comfortable, it's slightly on the edge of it. So you continue to develop. You do make mistakes, but then you learn from those mistakes and then you can share those learnings elsewhere.
What advice can you share with people aspiring to be a senior leader within the NHS or wider system?
First and foremost is just being truthful and honest, carrying an integrity all the time, because there will be difficult times where your values can get challenged, and you're developing solutions when that happens. Developing your leadership styles that you involve that, you communicate well, you listen, and if you have people with you and you have patients, you're looking forward to improving patient care and all the other things fall in place.
What challenges and barriers have you faced along your journey and how have you overcome these?
A journey for myself, understanding that if you have an introverted leadership style, if you have a quiet leadership style, how do you make the best use of it? Generally speaking, that can, if you have an organization or a system where everything is an extroverted leadership style, that is a barrier. How do you cope with that? So I found that as a barrier at times. Continue to do so, but I kind of learned to deal with that. But that is always a challenge, and I because I do feel quiet leaders bring a lot to the table, but that can be a barrier which I found.
What is your advice to employees from marginalized communities on how they can progress to senior roles?
People should not carry any insecurities they have because of their background. I think that is you're going to find a way not to carry those insecurities. Not a lot of support things. You've got to find role models for yourself. Now, quite a few of them there. So you've got to park those insecurities because once you have that insecurity, you always start slightly behind the starting line. The other bit is really not expecting that you're supposed to know everything from day one. Things develop with time. So those are the two things. And the other thing is, if you do come from a marginalized community, whatever background is, what you've got to understand is that you bring a lot to the table actually, and it's a positive thing, which if you're not from a marginalized community, you can't bring. And so you have to change your mindset to that. And if you come from a socioeconomic background, which is that you bring a lot to the table. You bring a totally different experience, which then you use for patient care. So that is what my advice would be to that, is not to have any insecurities and